Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maureen O'Connor from Quilters Heaven in Northbrook, Illinois, and I am the Opinionated Quilter. Today's episode number 164 is make a super easy grocery bag. Fast, inexpensive. No opinion today, let's get right to it. Now, I'm going to show you all these steps down on the cutting mat, but just to review what we're going to do. I was trying to duplicate a grocery bag, and I had seen a YouTube video where a woman used beautiful fabric, quilted stuff, waterproof fabric. It was a lot of work what she did. In the end, she put water in it, shook it. You could hear the water move around. Nothing leaked. This bag was so beautiful. I looked at it and I said, I wouldn't want to use it for groceries. It's too beautiful. I don't want to ruin it. So my goal is to make one that's fast, cheap, and I don't care if I beat it up and use it and break it and have to make another one because they're so fast and easy to make. So I went to Hobby Lobby and got some cheap vinyl. And I cut two pieces, 19.5 by 22. Now, when I then went with what I had left over after that, sometimes you need to adjust your measurements to make best use of your fabric. If I had done 19.5, I would have only gotten 2 more bags. But if I went to 18, I could get 3. So the one I'm going to show you that's finished is cut the 19.5. But you can adjust your width and height based on what you've got to make the best use of your fabric. So the first thing I did was I folded down the top edge of the vinyl and I pressed it. And then I folded down again another 1/4 inch so that the whole raw edge is enclosed. And then I put on webbing for handles, and I cut mine 55 inches. Now, that was a stupid measurement to use because I just laid it out and said, okay, that's how big I want the handle to be able to hold. But if you go to 54 times 2 is 108, that's exactly 3 yards. So going forward, I would probably make 54, not 55. And then I sewed that webbing to the right side of the bag. And then I top stitched just from strap to strap. And down on the table, I'm going to show you why that's important. Then I serged the sides of the bag. And here again, we talked about quilters not wanting sergers or saying they didn't need sergers. Here again is another use for a serger. And they're out there for prices that you can afford. You can again go to my sewing machine repairman, supinsewingrepair.com. I'll make sure I said it right this time because I said it wrong last week. But they sell things cheap. And again, check Facebook Marketplace. Any estate sales where you know they're a sewer, you can get sergers at good deals. So I serged the sides, and I did use a 4-thread overlock. You could maybe use a 3-thread. I wanted this stronger, so I did use the 4-thread. And then once the sides are serged, you can fold down and top stitch the rest of the top where you had not done it earlier. And then you go ahead and serge the bottom, and then you need to box the corners. Many, many patterns have you cut out the corner and then just you'll see it down on the table, but put it together and sew across. I left my corners on after sewing because I thought that would give some better structure to the bag. Let's go ahead and go down on the table. Here are my cut pieces for the next bag. And again, rather than 19.5, this is only 18. And I want to try to make them as much the same as I can so that when I serge these sides, these lines match up. If you have an overall design, that's obviously not going to be as important. The things that I think are important are you want to use a leather needle and you want to use a non-stick sole for your machine. We used to call them Teflon. Now we say non-stick, but you want to use something that's going to roll on this vinyl. So I made a small mock-up so you could see. I ran out of webbing, so I couldn't do it on my real pieces. But this yellow ribbon represents the webbing, and I went ahead and cut the webbing the length that I wanted, and I actually just used a glue stick, glued it down, and then I started at the bottom, sewed up and around. I sewed up, and then I made one of these little X's here, and then came back down this side. Same thing over here, up, make your X, and come back down. You do that on both sides. Then you go ahead and serge the sides. And here I've got them serged, and this is why you only sew down where the straps were. Here's where I serged all the way to the top. Then I bring this back down. Had I had this pressed and sewn all the way around, then the serging would have gone all the way up to the top, which I don't want that. I want this raw edge of serging. Obviously, you'd cut this off, being the raw edge of the serging being covered by the fold over. So once you serge the sides, you can then go around and finish sewing what wasn't sewn down at the top. Lastly is the boxed corners. Once you have the both sides, or I should say bottom and side, serged, you go ahead and open it up like this. And here's a line I drew. You probably can't see it, it's pretty light. But you go ahead and sew across. And in mine, I measured 3 inches from the tip in for the size of the boxed corner. And on this side, I did sew it. So once after you get your corners boxed, you can put it back right side out. And it makes a little bag. So let me pull out my finished one, and we'll hold up the paper bag, and you'll see how much alike they are. Here's my final bag. Just regular handles. Remember, we weren't trying to make something that went over our shoulder like a tote bag. We were trying to duplicate a grocery bag. Now this grocery bag didn't have handles on it, but of course I wanted handles on it. So this is just the right size, and I think this is going to work perfectly for my needed use. I'm in a community here in Northbrook that it's 10 cents a bag. I made this for less than $12, so it would take 120 bags to make it worthwhile to have made this. And the time it takes, almost nothing. Set up assembly line sewing, and you could get a bunch done for you, your friends, your kids, whoever needs them. All right, now let's get to the winner of last week's giveaway. Those were the 2 10-inch batik square packets. And the winner is Shannon R3719. Please send me your mailing address to quiltersheaveninc@gmail.com so I can get those 10-inch square packets out to you. This week's giveaway is some Benartex fabric, and it was all donated by someone to us. I don't even know who. It came with a pattern. This is a photocopied pattern, and this book is still available, so I'm not going to be able to mail this to you, but it is 10 fat quarters and then 1 5/8 of this background fabric. So I'm sure many of you would be able to make something absolutely beautiful with this. And again, there's no requirement to make a charity quilt. If you do, that's fabulous. If you don't, that's fine too, because the people who donated this to us just want someone to use it and love it. So you know what to do to enter to win. You want to like this video, you want to subscribe to my channel, and you want to comment on this video. And in the comment, put Benartex Collection, because that's the fabric is all from Benartex. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you can make some grocery bags to save the world from plastic and excess paper use. And until next time, happy sewing.